What's up, guys? Real quick announcement. If we get 5 likes on this video, I'll do a setup tour myself because we're reacting to setup tours right now, so I thought it'd be a good idea. Alright, go and join the video. Alright, chat.
Lock in!
We're gonna be reacting to this guy. Shout out him. Go subscribe because he's like a lesser known creator, but I think his video is pretty good. We're gonna look at his 10-year gaming setup progression. I'm gonna give my opinion on it. Let me just full screen that.
The result of my gaming addiction.
Okay, Xbox 360, Xbox One, laptops.
It all started in around 2013 when I got my first ever gaming device. It was the Nintendo 3DS XL.
I started with the Nintendo 3DS. Mine was red though. And I had Super Mario Maker and I had Animal Crossing.
And if any of you have ever owned it, then you'll know just how amazing of a device it really was. It pretty much got me into the world of gaming, even with how simple it was. The only game I really played on the 3DS was Mario Kart 7 and some of the built-in games. If you don't know what Mario Kart is, it's basically a cartoon racing game where you can unlock more characters and cars.
Blood, I'm pretty sure we know what Mario Kart is.
As you play. Looking back at that game, the graphics were definitely not that great, but it didn't stop me from grinding it almost every day and unlocking every card. So for quite some time, I kept on playing on the 3DS until 2014. In this year, I was lucky enough to upgrade to an insane console at the time. It was the Xbox 360.
Ooh, with Forza Horizon. Ooh, that's a combo. My Xbox 360. It's right here. You know I gotta keep it handy. It doesn't have the red ring of death, thankfully. It's still nice and it still works. And I got Borderlands with it in Battlefield. You know, some classics.
And I remember being so happy when I walked into Best Buy to get it. I remember specifically getting the console bundle with Forza Horizon 2, which was a new racing game at the time. This was also way more realistic than Mario Kart. Anyways, the Xbox 360 was my first experience of an actual gaming console, since the 3DS was more of a portable device. Keep in mind, I was still pretty young back then, so it took me a while to actually learn all the features, but I mainly played games like Forza Horizon 2 and Minecraft. Also, you gotta remember, I had a pretty limited time to play each day, which most of the time was literally only under an hour. So for the time I was able to play these games, I was super happy. Anyways, fast forward around 2 years to the time that the Xbox One S released. This is the console that came out as the up.
That's the console right there. That was the best console in my life. I got it when I was like 7 years old, you know. It came with Minecraft, and I had Disney Infinity 2.0, if anybody knows that game. And eventually I installed Fortnite, and that's what got me addicted to gaming was Fortnite.
Upgrade to the original Xbox.
I had Call of Duty Warzone before I had Fortnite.
Xbox One, and just like the Xbox 360, I bought the Forza Horizon 3 bundle this time. If you couldn't already tell, I was such a big fan of cars, and games like Forza were my favorite at the time. As for my setup, I was playing on a really low quality 720p TV, and since I didn't have a chair, I usually sat on the ground or played games standing up. Even though my setup was definitely not the best, I still had so much fun and made some of the best memories during this time. This is also when I got into my first shooter games like Star Wars Battlefront. This was also the
Oh my god, Star Wars Battlefront was the best Star Wars. One second. I don't know if I still have it. Star Wars Battlefront was the best game to ever grasp my hands. Not this Star Wars Battlefront, but the old Xbox 360 Star Wars Battlefront 2, when Xbox One could run 360 games. Oh my god, best game. The best game.
first game that I was actually a tryhard in. A few years later though, Fortnite released, and I remember hearing about it at school, and at first I was kind of annoyed.
Yeah,
because
7 years old.
People would constantly talk about it. Eventually though, I gave in and decided to give Fortnite a try. I mean, it was a free shooter game that looked interesting, so there was really nothing to lose.
It's a little too much hours.
Immediately, I became addicted to the game, and since summer was around the corner, meaning the release of Season 5, it was the perfect opportunity to grind the Battle Pass and play with my friends. I'm not joking when I say this, but we literally used to wake up at 7 a.m. during the summer just to hop on Fortnite.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
the
some
addiction was
addicted
quite real.
activities.
However, playing with my friends meant that I finally had to use voice chat, but up until this point, I'd only been using my TV speakers, which obviously didn't have a microphone. But I actually convinced my parents to buy me a pair of $20 Turtle Beach headphones. I ended up using those for the next 4 years, so they were definitely
Great
worth
headphones.
it. And this
Great
meant I could
headphones.
actually talk to my friends while playing games. Before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to tell you guys about uni accessories.
Sorry, bro. Gotta skip that.
But interestingly enough, I actually stopped playing Fortnite at this time, most likely because I got bored of it. During this point, my dad also gave me his office laptop that he wasn't using anymore. My setup at this time was just the office laptop on top of 2 Harry Potter books. I used the books as a stand since I didn't have an actual laptop stand to use, and I also connected a cheap keyboard and mouse bundle that costed $20 on Amazon. It wasn't anything too crazy, but it was sort of my first actual gaming setup. I used this setup to mostly play Roblox, but I also did get back to Fortnite around this time. It was around chapter 2 season 4 if I remember, which was a really fun season, but gaming on this laptop was so annoying because the CPU wasn't made for gaming and I had no dedicated graphics card. It would constantly stutter in Fortnite and basically any game I threw at it. No matter what optimization I did or what horrendous resolution I tried, it didn't seem like my FPS would get any better until
the gaming laptop.
The year 2021 was a huge year as I went back to normal school again. This was also the year when I got my first ever gaming laptop, the MSI GF63. Fun fact, I still use this laptop to this day and it works perfectly fine. And at the time it costed around $500. You might ask why I didn't just buy a desktop at the time, but the reason why I didn't was because gaming desktops were super expensive at the time because of the GPU shortage and the in general. For example, if I were to get a $500 pre-built PC back then, it would have had some super old parts, and that's why I just opted for a laptop instead, since they came with actually decent specs. But the laptop had a Intel Core i5 CPU, as well as a GTX 1650 graphics card.
I got a 1660
to finally play Fortnite at a stable 165 FPS in game.
I run 200.
Play other games on high graphics as well. I even got a laptop cooling pad to try and help with the temperatures, since I heard laptops could overheat while gaming. A few months later though, I made some small upgrades to the setup. I upgraded to the Corsair K65 keyboard, which had super fast switches. Compared to my old keyboard, which had really loud blue switches, this new keyboard was just so much better in every way, and I still sometimes use this keyboard
loud blue switches. I like them.
Gaming. Also, I got this really big mouse pad with a red design, which I got for $10 on Amazon at the time. During this time, I was also watching a lot of Tech Source and his setup war videos, and that gave me a lot of inspiration for my own setup. But unfortunately, later that year, I stopped playing Fortnite again, and I also stopped posting on YouTube. During that summer break, I was super busy and didn't get back to gaming until around October of that year. And I didn't change my setup at all pretty much, except from reorganizing some things. And this was partly due to the fact that I wasn't really into gaming as much anymore. That all changed though in 2023 when I got my first ever gaming monitor. I got this for my birthday at the time, and I was pretty excited since it had a 165Hz refresh.
It's pretty good gaming monitor, you know, like compared to this and then this. Look how nice that is.
And a 1080p resolution. Compared to my laptop's 60Hz screen, which I had been using for so long, the monitor was an actual life changer. This also meant I could use my laptop screen as a second monitor.
200.
If you notice, the peripherals in the setup remained practically the same, because I never really bothered to upgrade the basic stuff like the keyboard and mouse, since they continued to work pretty fine. But a few months later, I made another upgrade, which was getting a monitor and laptop mount. What this did was basically create a floating effect for my laptop and monitor. Even to this day, I still use the same mount and layout, so I definitely do not regret it. And at this exact time, I also got back to uploading videos on YouTube and grinding Fortnite again. And unfortunately, my headset that I'd been using for a few years at the time decided to break. Instead of just buying new headphones, I just switched to using my AirPods mainly. And I also did buy a new microphone from Flyfine to use for voiceovers. This was actually a really good investment because the microphone had really good sound quality and it made my videos sound a lot better. So far in 2024, I've made a lot of changes to my gaming setup. Since I switched to kind of content I post, it was a lot easier for me to make upgrades to my setup because of collaborations. First off, I added a monitor light bar to the top of my monitor. This
Okay.
surprisingly made a huge difference in how my setup looked, as it made my whole area look a lot brighter and helped to create a nice vibe around the setup. I also finally got a boom arm for my microphone to stand it up and make it easier to
Fire.
and thanks to a company called Mayono, I was able to upgrade my whole audio setup with their special audio mixer and dynamic microphone.
I was about to ask, what's that?
And this definitely made my audio even better whenever I recorded voiceovers. During this time, I was also doing a setup transformation video, so I decided to buy a brand new desk from Amazon, which cost me $90. I was pretty skeptical in buying it because I've never bought furniture off of Amazon, but once it arrived, it was actually in perfect condition and literally took like 10 minutes to set up. So now we're on to the current stage of my setup. I recently did do another setup transformation video where I added some more things to the desk. To start, I got these fake plants placed around the setup just to add a bit more color. In addition to that, I even got this digital clock from Temu, and also I changed my mousepad to a more simple one, which has this black topographic design. This mousepad definitely fits.
I must be hearing things. Just thought somebody opened my door.
In terms of peripherals, you might have seen the new keyboard as well, which is the Techwear Phantom Plus Elite. I also finally upgraded my old mouse, which sometimes had scroll wheel issues. And thanks to Keycarn, I was actually able to get their M3 Mini wireless mouse, and so far it's been really nice to use, not only because of its extremely lightweight, but also just the conveniency of a wireless mouse. So that's pretty much the entire progression of my gaming setup.
Fire progression, fire gaming setup. Alright, on the next video, chat. Since you're at the end of the video, you might as well go check out the Twitch channel. Here it is right here. Editor me, go ahead and put it up on screen. And have a great rest of your day, like I said in the beginning, and bye-bye.